Purushottam Garu is going to make sure that the table is put there on that corner if anybody is interested. With that, let me give it to Swamiji.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य शंकरञ्च जगद्गुरुं उत्तानमठयोगीशं मौनस्वामिनवाश्रये. प्रणाम to Lord Narayana, Jagadguru Shankaracharya and Maunaswami, the founder of our Siddheshwari Peetham at Uttar. Yesterday we came to describe the descent of Lord Krishna from Goloka. The Shvetadvipa Narayana is there in Melu Parvata Guha, and Vaikunthanatha Vishnu, Brahma, Maheshwara and other deities went to Lord Narayana, who was sleeping in the Melu Parvata Guha. They prayed, they woke him up and told him that he must take a birth on the earth as Krishna to kill the Rakshasas. He accepted. That is the version of Harivamsha. According to Srimad Bhagavata, Vaikuntha Vishnu himself has descended as an avatar. According to the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Goloka Krishna has come and took the birth as Krishna, and he killed the Rakshasas. But the Vrindavana yogis, the Krishna Yamana Tantra, the Garga Samhita and Padma Purana, they say a different version. Of course, the Bhumika is prepared for the avatar. Narayana or Vishnu, they have to come to the earth. But the supreme deities, they don't have Garbha Naraka. They don't enter any human womb. If a person enters a human body, enters the womb, he forgets himself in the Garbha Naraka. Who he is, what he is, where from he has come. He forgets everything. Everybody, the life after death, everybody will go, will be with Preta Sharira for some time. And then, after the Preta Sharira has gone, they go to the Swarga or Naraka according to their Punya and Papa. And the 100% karma is not experienced there in heaven or hell. Something will be kept. Because if a birth is to be given, there must be some karma. So a part of the karma will be experienced and another part will be left for the human birth. So with that karma, people come here down and then they do new karmas and experience the fruits of it, whether good or bad. When the person comes from the heaven or hell and enters into the womb of a woman, at the first stage he remembers who he is. When he was there for 9 months in that womb, in the Andhakara, he forgets himself who he is. And then he comes as a child, a new life, a new name and everything. But the karma will continue. So, the deities, they never like to enter a womb. They never like to enter a garbha. So, whether Narayana, whether Vaikunthanatha Vishnu or Goloka Krishna, they don't enter any womb. But a body is to be formed. Of course, the divine people can do any miracle, but there is a natural way also. There must be a body prepared, and into that body these people will enter. So, who is to come? Who is to enter the womb and prepare the body? There is another incident in the Nepal. There was Badarikashram in Himalayas. One day, a great saint, a Maharshi, a Adimuni, has come from the Tapoloka by the order of Brahma to the Badarikashram. He came down just like the form of a light to the ashram of Nara and Narayana, Nara-Narayana Maharshis. They were twins. Brahmana stanam bhitva dharmo ajayata. Brahma's son is Dharma. Dharma's sons are Nara and Narayana. Nara-Narayana ashrama is there in Badari. To this ashram, suddenly a great person from Tapoloka has come down and appeared before them. Nara-Narayana Maharshi saluted him, did Sashtanga Pranam, and gave him a big seat in the ashram and did all the respects, honors. His name is Apantaratama. Apantaratama, his name. He is an Adimuni. Oh, the great saint Maharshi, we are very lucky. We have got the darshan of you. What do you order? Why did you come here? Then he said, I came by the order of Brahma. I came by the order of Narayana. You, Nara and Narayana, Narayana is the name of God, the name of Maharshi, both are different. The Dwapara Yuga, we are coming to an end now. And so many Rakshasas are born. The earth is not able to bear them. They are doing cruel deeds. So, they are to be killed. For killing them, to do their Rakshasa Samhara, both of you must take human birth. Both of you have to take a birth. They said, we are already here now in Dwapara Yuga. In this Himalayan ashram, we are here. Then Apantaratama smiled. He said, yes, you are in Himalayas, but you are Kruta Yuga Jivis. You are Kruta Yuga Jivas. You are from Kruta Yuga. For every Yuga, the structure of the bodies, the heights of the bodies will change. In Kruta Yuga, people will be of 50 feet height, 60 feet height. In Treta Yuga, somewhere about 40 feet height. In Dwapara Yuga, 20 feet height. How is it? 20 feet height. The great saint Anandamayi, the famous saint of Vrindavan, she said once, by the grace of the Siddha Purusha Devaraha Baba, I could go to Himalayas and see the persons of Dwapara Yuga who are with the heights of 20 and 25 feet. The ordinary man or woman at the end of Dwapara Yuga or in Dwapara Yuga, they are more than 18 feet, 18 feet, 20 feet, 25 feet like that. Their height is like that. In Kali Yuga now, you know your heights. If a person is 6 feet, he is supposed to be very tall. In Srimad Bhagavata, people will read the Krishna Leela, they enjoy, they worship God Krishna, but there is a way to imagine the heights of the people in Bhagavata which is in a secret way. The height is not given as 8 feet, 10 feet or 20 feet anywhere. But you see, the Gokula is there. Krishna was in Gokula, Nanda Gokula. And then the Brahmanda Ghat is there. The Ramana Reti is there. If you go to Vrindavan, there are sacred places, the Brahmanda Ghat, where Krishna for the first time showed his Vishwarupa to Yashoda. That is the Brahmanda Ghat. They were playing. Krishna and the other Gopas were playing as children, as boys. Then Krishna, it seems, was eating some clay, murtika. And what is it? What are you doing? You are eating murtika, matti. Clay, what is it? No, don't care. What are you to tell me? Then these boys went to Yashoda and reported, Krishna is eating murtika. Then she came. What, why? What are you doing here? We have ample milk, navanitam, everything. There is curd. Why do you eat murtika? Why do you eat clay? She said, no mother, I am not eating murtika. These people, the other Gopas, who are defeated by me in the games, they are unnecessarily giving false reports to you. I am not eating murtika. You can test me. I open my mouth. You see whether there is any smell of clay, murtika. Then he opened his mouth. And Yashoda saw, instead of murtika or the mouth, she saw the whole Brahmanda in his mouth. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Devas, Godas, Navagrahas, Rakshasas, Vidyadhara, Yaksha, Kinnara, Kimpurushas, all are seen in that mouth. She was wondered, what is this? What is it? Who is my boy? He is God. If she knows that he is God from tomorrow, she cannot see Krishna with Vatsalya as a child. She keeps him on the throne, does puja, Krishnaya Namaha, Devaya Namaha, Sarveshwaraya Namaha. But Krishna doesn't want that. He wanted to be a child, to play in the hands of Yashoda. He came for that. So immediately he gave his Maya. He used his Maya and Yashoda forgot what she has seen. It's all right. It is the Vishwarupa Sandarshana, first Vishwarupa Pradarshana of the Lord. The thing is, why I have given this example is, from Nanda Gokulam to the Brahmanda Ghat, where the Vishwarupa is shown, it is at least 40 kilometers. You can go to Vrindavan and see. And these people used to play, the Gopas used to play at a certain place regularly. It is called Ramanareti. It is another 30 kilometers from that place. The place where Krishna regularly took bath, the Ghat in Yamuna, from Nanda Gokula, it is somewhere about 10 to 15 kilometers. So, the Krishna, the Balarama and the other Gopas regularly used to wake up. They went to the Yamuna, some 10 to 15 kilometers, they took bath, and then they went to the Brahmanda Ghat to play, to eat the morning breakfast, and then they will go to Ramanareti to play another 40 kilometers, and then they take the cows and go to the forest to feed them. So it means regularly Krishna, Balarama and the other Gopas are going or walking at least 100 kilometers a day. From the place of the house to Brahmanda Ghat, to Ramanareti, to the forest, to the Govardhan Giri, regularly, not only exceptionally every day, these people used to go like that. These 40 kilometers from Nanda Gokula to Brahmanda Ghat, when Krishna was eating clay, these people in 2 minutes walked the 40 kilometers and told Yashoda, reported to Yashoda. Yashoda came there in another 3 minutes. So the distance of 40 kilometers was covered in 3 minutes. How is it possible? What are their bodies? Are their bodies just like us? If it is like that, if your body, the bodies are like that, how is it possible to walk 40 kilometers in 2 minutes? So it means they are not bodies of our structure. Not only God, Krishna is Bhagavan, he can walk, he can fly, he can do anything because of the mystic powers. But Yashoda has done that. The Gopa boys are regularly doing that, walking. So it means everybody and anybody has got the capacity to go 40 minutes in 2 minutes, 40 kilometers in 2 minutes. So now you imagine the structure of their bodies, their length, their width, their heights, their weight and everything, now you can imagine. So, but according to the Maharshis, Nara, Narayana and Avantaratama, these bodies of 20 feet, 25 feet are very small, very short. Very short. Avantaratama said to Naranarayanas, "Oh Maharshis, you cannot directly go into the Janapadas and fight and kill the Rakshasas, because if you go, you are persons of the Kruta Yuga and people will wonder who are these people coming. No, you should not do like that. It is not the law of creation. It is against the law of Brahma. You should go as ordinary people and then kill them and do some works which are necessary. So you have to take birth." So Narayana was born as Krishna to Devaki and Vasudeva. And Nara Maharshi was born as Arjuna. Avantaratama said, "I am also coming, but I will go just before you, a few years before you, a generation before you." He was born as Vyasa Maharshi. Bhagavan Vyasa, Veda Vyasa, the son of Parashara. Vasishtha is the son of Brahma. Shakti is the son of Vasishtha. Shakti's son is Parashara. Parashara's son is Vyasa. So, Avantaratama Maharshi, the ancient saint who is before Vasishtha, Atri, Angirasa and all these people, he, the most ancient saint, Maharshi, he has come and he has born as Vyasa Maharshi. So, in Mahabharata, Veda Vyasa is said Adi Muni, Parasharatmajaha, he is Adi Muni, the first saint. How Vyasa is first saint? His father is a saint, his grandfather is a saint, his great-grandfather is a saint, he is a Maharshi. How can Vyasa be the first Maharshi, Adi Maharshi? Because he knows his Janma, he knows who he is, what he is, where from he has come. He knows himself as Avantara Maharshi, Avantaratama. So, Avantaratama said, "I will also take birth. I will be Vyasa. I will divide the Vedas. I will write the Puranas, edit the Puranas. I am going to write the history of the Bharatadesha. I will write so many books. There is special work for me. I will guide all of you. So you go and take birth." So, by the order of Brahman, Narayana, Avantaratama, Narayana Maharshi has taken the birth as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. So he entered the womb of Devaki Devi. He was born as a child, a male child. Just at the time of the birth, the Narayana, the original Narayana, the Shvetampipa Narayana has entered into this body. So now he is Narayana, Narayana Maharshi and Narayana Deva also. You know Bhagavata. Vasudeva has taken this child, taken this baby and went to the Nanda Gokulam from Mathura. All these things were happening in Mathura. Then he went to Nanda Gokulam. He crossed the Yamuna river and went to the Nanda Gokulam. Yashoda also has given birth to a child. She was a female child. Vasudeva, by the order of the gods, he went to Yashodananda's house. All were sleeping by Vaishnava Maya. He put his son there, aside the Yashoda, and brought that female child, that small girl child, to their Karagaram, to their jail where they are kept. Here also all the bhattas are sleeping, all the servants, all the police people who are kept there were sleeping by Vaishnava Maya. After Vasudeva brought the girl child, then all people woke up. They went to report Kamsa. Oh, Devaki Devi has given birth. A female child is born, not a male. Kamsa came. What is this? Yes, a female child is born. She cannot kill you. The Akashvani's words are wrong. According to the Akashvani, the Ashtamagarbham of Devaki will kill you. It has become wrong. The Akashvani lied. It told lies. So kindly leave her. Srimad Bhagavata says, Kamsa did not leave. He took that body and threw it on a stone. And suddenly the child went to the sky, says Mahakali, and said, Hare Kamsa, the person who is going to kill you is going elsewhere. Take care. She disappeared. But here is the another story of the Yamana Tantras and Garga Samhita. When Vasudeva went to Yashoda to keep his child there and bring the female child, there was another wonder. Yashoda, according to these creatures, she has given birth to two people. One male child and another female child. Female child is there according to Bhagavata, Srimad Bhagavata also. But there is a male child. When Vasudeva went there, he saw the baby in his hands and the baby on the side of Yashoda. They are both same with life, in form, in color. Both were blue, Nila Shyamala, Komalamigaha. Equal, same shining, same body. What is this? Then, without his knowledge, he was seeing this baby went and mixed with that baby. Both has become one. Vasudeva Sutta Shriman Vasudevo Khilatmani Lino Nanda Sute Rajan Ghane Saudamani Yadha. As the lightning merges into the megha, into the clouds, both were combined, they became one. Vasudeva Sutaha and Yashoda Sutaha. Yashoda Sutta is Goloka Krishna and Vasudeva Sutta is Narayana. So the bodies have become one. So in one body, two were there. The original body belongs to Narayana Maharshi, and there entered the Narayana Deva, Shvetadvipa Narayana. And into that body, the Goloka Krishna has entered. That is the philosophy of Vrindavan. That is the story accepted by the yogis of Vrindavan. So Goloka Krishna, the higher God, the supreme God, He was there in the body of Narayana Krishna for some time, for a few years, for nearly 11 years, 10 to 11 years or 12 years. So he was growing. Kamsa was doubting, this boy must be somewhere according to the Akashvani, according to the Kali. Mahakali said, the Lord who is going to kill you is growing elsewhere. So where is he? Where is he? He ordered his army people to kill all the children in his capital or in his Rajya. To kill all the children. Don't spare anybody. So the soldiers went, searched and searched everywhere and began to kill. They heard that a child is there in the house of Nanda. So somebody must go and kill. Then Putana was sent. Putana was sent. Putana, you know the story of Putana. She went there in a beautiful dress. She was a Rakshasi, but she became a beautiful woman with ornaments, with golden ornaments and other things, and went there. She wanted, I will take the child. People gave her. She wanted to give her stanyam to him. Krishna accepted it and swallowed her pranas also. Putana died. When Putana died, the original form has come. At the time of death, the original form will come if a person is in Kamarupa, in other form. When she was burned, the smell of Chandana Gandha has come because she was killed by the god. She lost all her sins. According to the Garga Samhita, Putana was the son of Bali Chakravarti, the daughter of Bali Chakravarti, by name Ratnamala. When Vamana has gone to Bali Chakravarti to take over the Samrajya by taking the 3 feet Dana, Ratnamala, the daughter of Bali Chakravarti, was seeing this boy, Vamana, very beautiful, Vedic scholar. He was attractive. She thought, if I give my stanyam to this boy, that will be the happiest day in my life. She thought like that. Vamana, the Supreme God, was seeing this. He was speaking with Bali Chakravarti, he was speaking with others, but he knows the thought of the Ratnamala. So he granted the boon. All right, you will have it. In the next avatar, when I become Krishna, I will accept your stanyam, your milk, breast milk. So that vara has become like this. Putana has given her breast milk to Krishna because of that will and granted boon in Krita Yuga. Krute Yuge Balidata. In Krita Yuga this was done. So, in this particular body of Narayana Maharshi, the Narayana is there and Goloka Krishna is there. He was growing, Putana has come, she was killed. And so many Rakshasas have come according to the Bhagavata. Krishna killed many demons. The Shakatasura, the Trinavarta, the Vatsasura. So many people, so many people. And Kamsa came to know, oh, this must be the person, this must be the Vishnu who has to kill me, who will kill me. I must kill this fellow somehow or other. So, some cause, some reason must be there to get this boy from Nanda Gokula. So he said, I am going to do a yajna. Oh, all right, kings can do yajnas. I am going to celebrate a Dhanur Yaga. A Dhanur Yaga. Oh, what is Dhanus? Which will give the arrows, send the arrows. What is yajna for a Dhanush? Because the Dhanush there in Kamsa is a very sacred one. A very sacred one. When you know about Kamsa, the courage of Kamsa and the valor of Kamsa was not described in Srimad Bhagavata. Only a cruel man, nothing more than that. But he was a world conqueror, Vishwa Vijayi. He was Vishwa Vijayata. Kamsa was not an ordinary man. Much was written about Tarakasura, much was written about Banasura, but much was not written about Kamsa. Kamsa was not the real son, real king. His mother was raped by a devil, by a demon. And so he was the son of a demon. Nobody knows it. Narada once told that secret, Kamsa. So he knew, the real father. So he kept the emperor in jail. He became the king, declared himself the king, the most powerful person. Nobody can object. Nobody could object him. He went toured all over the world. He came to Andhra Pradesh, and there were great warriors, there were great wrestlers and boxers by name Chanura and Mushtika. Chanura was the world conqueror in wrestling, in Kusti. He was world conqueror. Kamsa directly went to him. Chanura, I know you are a famous person all over the world. You wrestle with me. If you win, I, the king of Mathura, will become your slave. If you win, if I win, you must become my slave. Come on to fight or accept defeat. Chanura said, what are you? I have seen so many people like you. They cannot even stand before me. But they fought. And Chanura was defeated. He was wondered for the strength of Kamsa. Chanura was just like an elephant. He was the master of wrestlers in those days, but he was defeated by Kamsa. According to that, Chanura became his slave and did whatever Kamsa said. Kill him, he killed by the order of Kamsa because he committed himself. So, Kamsa wanted that this boy, Krishna, and some other person, Balarama, whom we hear is also a fellow, he is a powerful fellow. Let these two people be brought to Mathura and we see that they are killed. There was an elephant, a very powerful elephant, the most powerful elephant in those days. Once Jarasandha Maharaja, the emperor of Madhur, the emperor of Magadha Chakravarti, he was a very, very powerful king. He gave Narabali, Bali with Kshatriyas, Bali with kings to Bhairava. And by the power given by Bhairava to him, Jarasandha became an unconquerable person. Nobody can fight with him. That Jarasandha once came to Mathura to fight with Kamsa. Who is this fellow? I hear that he is a powerful fellow. Is he more powerful than me? So, he came. With his big elephant, he came. And Kamsa took that elephant with his hands, took its legs and threw that away. That big elephant. Jarasandha was wondered, who is this man? The most powerful, the most weighty animal, the great elephant, has been thrown away with his hands. How strong he is, I admire him. And he said, stop the war, I don't like to do war with this man. He directly went to him, Kamsa, I am very happy. I admire your power, I admire your valor, strength. I give my daughters to you as wives, take it. Asti and Prasti, his daughters, were married to Kamsa. Kamsa now became more powerful because of the Magadha emperor is the supreme person in those days. Then Kamsa again started his Vijaya Yatra. He went to Narakasura. Narakasura was a very powerful person. He was living from hundreds and thousands of years. He was living from the time of Ramayana. No, the birth of Narakasura is a very wonderful thing. At the beginning of the creation, when the Shvetavaraha Avatara was there, has come to kill Hiranyaksha, Shvetavaraha married Bhudevi. And Bhudevi has a garbha. In that, Naraka was there in her womb. That means, before the Dwapara Yuga, what is the time of Shvetavaraha Avatara? 199 crores of years back. 199 crores of years back, Narakasura was in the womb of Bhudevi. The deities, the devatas, knew that if this fellow is born, he becomes an asura, a rakshasa, and we cannot bear. So, let her not get a birth of the child. The child should not take birth. Let the child be in the womb itself. So by their Maya Shakti, they saw that Bhudevi will not give birth. So some years passed, 9 months, 9 years, 900 years, 9,000 years, 9 lakhs of years. So it was going on like that. Again, she has got some pains. Then they reported to Vishnu. Vishnudeva, she should not give birth. Please help us. Vishnudeva came and touched with his Shankha. The pains were gone, but Prasava was not done. He was there. And 1 crore years back, at the time of the Ramayana, after the birth of Rama and Sita, she gave birth. So, the Naraka was in her womb for 199 crores of years, in the womb of Bhudevi. She then gave birth. She took her child to Janaka Maharaja. Janaka Maharaja, I helped you. When you did Bhuyaga, I gave my daughter Sita Devi to you as your daughter by the Yajna. Now I want help. Yes, Bhudevi, you are goddess. What can I do for you? You take my child so that he will be happily grown up, because I cannot spend much time to my child, because I have 24 hours duty to see the whole world as Bhudevi. Day and night I have to see the whole world, that everything will be peaceful. So I have no time. So he was brought up, this boy Naraka was brought up at Janaka Maharaj. He has grown up, he has grown. And then at the time of playing, Janaka Maharaja has other sons also. One son was regularly playing with him. But this fellow is an asura, he is very strong, though he looks like a man, he is a very strong fellow. He used to beat the son of the Janaka Maharaja regularly in the games. And one day that fellow went and reported to his mother, "Mother, I don't be here. I will get away. I will go somewhere and live because I cannot bear these beatings, these beats of this fellow. He is beating me regularly. Send him out or I will go. The mother said, why should you go out? You are the king. You are the next king. You should not go out. We will send him away. And then she went and told Janaka, this fellow has grown up. We are not happy with this fellow. He is regularly beating our son. Send him out. Then he requested Bhudevi to come and to take his son. So Bhudevi has come. Please take your son. He is grown up. She took him and to the river Brahmaputra, she took him. Now what shall I do with this man? He has become young. Some employment must be given to him. If he gets a chance, he can be sent to America to do some job or something like that. But we cannot send him there in India. So what shall I do? Then she requested the Vishnu Deva, give something to this fellow. Some clerk in the collectorate or something like that. Then he said, he is our son. Let him become a king to this area. I will make him as the king of this Assam. Assam, Meghalaya, Bhutan, Sikkim, all these were one in those days. We will make him king for this area. But there is one thing, there is the goddess Kamakhya there, the avatar of Parameshwari. Let him worship her regularly. Do the yajnas well. Oh, the temples must be fine. Everything must be all right. I will give him one special vara also, special boon. I will give him a weapon, a Shakti. If he uses that Shakti, anybody will be killed. Nothing can stop the power of it. I have given that to him because of love towards you, I am favoring. So Naraka has become the king. He conquered the China in those days. And how long he lived? In the first days, first years, he was all right. But later, he did the sadhana of Kamakhya by the prabodha of some Vamachara saint. Vamachara, you must have heard, Madhyam, Matsyam, Mamsam, Aiduram, Mudra, with the Panchamakaras, the Vamachara is done. He did Vamachara sadhana in the temple of Kamakhya Kali. He forcibly brought number of princesses, Rajakumaris. He raped them forcibly and did sadhana in the temple of Kamakhya. This is a sin, no doubt, but satisfied with this sadhana, the Kamakhya Kali gave him wonderful powers. He was given Shakti, power, Astra, Shastra, Mahabala. Nobody can stand before him with a war field. And he will never get old age. He will never get old age. He lived for thousands of years. And ultimately he was killed by Krishna. That is also a wonderful story. Of course, the story of Bhagavata is there, but there are so many secret stories behind. There are so many. When the war was going on, there was one wonderful incident. Narakasura was fighting with Krishna. Krishna killed Murasura. Murasura was the prime minister or the chief commander of Narakasura. There was a daughter for Murasura by name Kala Katankata. Kala Katankata was the daughter of Murasura. She came one day to Narakasura. The fight was going on for a few days. She said, "This Krishna has killed my father. I want to kill him." No, you are a young girl. Why should you fight? We are here to fight with him and kill him. We will kill Krishna. No, you should not come into the war field. You are a young girl. She said, no, I can fight. I learned fighting. I must fight and kill Krishna, she said. All right, try. He could not say no. I will close with this story in the next few minutes. She came into the war field and began to fight with Krishna. She worshipped Kamakhya Kali and she has got boons from Kali Devi. Even Krishna could not stand before her in fighting. What is this nonsense? This young girl is fighting greater than Narakasura. Oh, I have come here to kill Narakasura, but I am not able to stop this girl. I will kill her with my chakra. He took the chakra, Sudarshana. When Sudarshana was taken into his hand, suddenly the Kali Devi has stood before Krishna. Krishna, please don't kill her. I gave her a boon, a vara, that she will not be killed. So to keep my word, don't kill her. And he honored the word of Kali. It's all right. Then what to do? The fierce war is going on. He cannot kill him because of Kali. Then he just thought the Ghatotkaja to come. Where are you, Ghatotkaja? Wherever you are, you come to me immediately. By the power of Krishna, he was attracted. Ghatotkaja came. He said, Ghatotkaja, you look to that girl and do whatever you want. The war must be stopped. Her war must be stopped. So he went there with his extraordinary, powerful height. He was somewhere about 40 feet height in the Dwapara Yuga. Recently, some 6 or 7 years back, a human body was found in the borders of Assam and Bengal. That body was 34 feet height. A news has come with a big heading, perhaps the body of Ghatotkacha. Whether it is true or not, they named like that, a body of Ghatotkacha. The scientists, the archaeologists who found that body were just like Lilliputs before that body. So Ghatotkacha stood there. Before Krishna he stood. This Kalakatakata was using her weapons, throwing arrows. He said, just like flies, Eagalu, Domalu. He did not care. What is it? What the weapons are happening? What are they? They cannot even do him any harm. Ghatotkaja smiled and walked. She was throwing everything, sholas, mudgaras, chakras, ayudhas and everything. He directly went to her. Why are you coming near me? He embraced her. What is it you are doing in the war field? No, if you don't like to do this in the war field, we go privately to your house and do everything. No, what is the fight? You cannot fight with me, your weapons cannot even touch me. What can you do? The war is closed. Let Krishna and Naraka fight and whatever happens, let them happen. I am stopping your fight, I am taking you to your house. Later he married. Ghatotkaja married the Kalakatankata. That is another story in Skanda Purana. So, there are such wonderful stories in this warfare. Perhaps it is too late already. I will continue in the evening. Narayana, Narayana.
For those of you who want books, they are available at the front desk. Now this concludes the morning program. We have a lunch by UP group from Uttar Pradesh cuisine today. Lunch. Please enjoy that. And after that we have a Carnatic vocal concert by a young artist. It will be here in the Yagnishala, and then after that our evening session will start at 4 o'clock. Thank you.